Now this is definitely before you guys' time. But do you remember the hurricane, or have you heard about Hurricane Katrina? You never heard of it?
Yeah.
Some of you guys have? So Hurricane Katrina was a massive tropical storm. And hurricanes are rated from level 1 to level 5. And level 5 is like the worst. And Hurricane Katrina was a level 5. So, Amy, will you hold that for me? Thank you. Hurricane Katrina was a level 5. So it is this hot, swirling, windy storm that's coming with a mix of the air up through the Gulf Coast and hitting New Orleans with all of its force. Do you know what football team plays in New Orleans for the NFL? The Saints. The Saints play in New Orleans. I thought some of you guys would know. But the Saints play in New Orleans, and this hurricane absolutely came and destroyed it. All of that wind, all of that rain, all of that power of the waves in the ocean came over the wall and poured into the city of New Orleans, covering it with water, flooding everything, flooding buildings, skyscrapers, everything. Crazy. And that was a horrible, horrible thing that had happened. But the people of New Orleans made something good out of it. They believed something good could come from something bad. Sam, get out of there. Sit on there, not back in there. Thank you. So, this storm hits, it floods, it's really bad. They believe that something bad or good could come out of this something bad. So what they did is they relied on each other, they relied on family, and they relied on friends so they could get through this horrible situation together. They also took the opportunity to use this to rebuild the infrastructure of the city, rechange the road structure, make the roads nicer, and build better neighborhoods that were really broken down. So those houses, they rebuilt nicer houses. And those apartments that were broken down, they rebuilt nicer apartments. So they made something good out of something bad. And our memory verse for this one has something to say about that. Will someone read that for me? Go ahead.
In this world you will have trouble, but be encouraged. I have won the battle for the world.
John 16:33. So in this world you will have trouble, but be encouraged. I have won the battle over the world. So those are Jesus' words, and what Jesus is saying is that in this world, people will get sick. People will get hurt, and everyone is going to die. However, Jesus came, and what did he do? He healed the sick. He healed the cripples. He healed those who were on their deathbed. He cared for those people. And then, the people that were hurt, he gave hope, and he gave life, and he gave love to those who were hurt. And then, to finish it off, he rose from the grave. He defeated death, and he ascended to heaven so we can be with him forever. So he's saying, be encouraged. Don't be afraid. This is awesome. This is exciting. The world may be tough, but don't worry. I overcame the world. I overcame sickness. I overcame hurt, and I overcame death itself. And last week, Jesse said something, or told a story about overcoming death itself. He talked about the power of God and how Jesus showed that power by raising, do you remember the guy's name from the dead? Don't remember? Lazarus, yes. He raised Lazarus from the dead. And Lazarus was a really good friend of Jesus. And he was really sick. And his family member sent Jesus a letter he wasn't very far away. And it said, Lord, the one whom you love is sick. And so Jesus was like, he'll be okay. What's going to happen is he's going to go to sleep, but I'm going to resurrect him for my glory. So the glory can go to God. And so, sure enough, he waits 2 days. He comes into town. And then the family's like, Jesus, Lazarus has been dead and buried in a tomb for 4 days. Where were you? They were upset. He says, don't worry. I will resurrect him. It will be for my glory. So he goes to the tomb and he says, Lazarus, come out of there. And sure enough, this man, Lazarus, wrapped in garments, wrapped in the proper burial outfit comes walking out of the grave. And everyone is like mind blown. Yeah, insane. I can't believe. They had never seen any kind of that power before on this earth. And so, all this happens. Jesus resurrects Lazarus from the dead. People want to go and see Jesus. People want to go see Lazarus, see if it's true. And then there's other people that are a little negative about it. But that's where our story continues today. So, our thing to remember today is, believing or remembering God keeps his promises. God always keeps his promises. And God, or do you guys ever have something that's super important or something that's really cool that you want to just tell one person about because it's kind of personal to you, and you do it at school and you guys say you have to promise not to tell anyone? You guys have ever done that? And then by the end of the day, everyone else knows in your class, and you're super upset. You're like, I can't believe you told everyone you broke your promise to me. And then you guys are you get upset with each other, or you're super embarrassed because it wasn't something that you wanted shared to everyone. It was just between you and that best friend. Well, God made a promise to a man named Zechariah 500 years before Jesus was born. And the promise was that the king of Israel would ride into Jerusalem on a donkey. The king of Israel would ride into Jerusalem on a donkey. And this is a promise that God told Zechariah, you can tell everyone. This is an exciting thing. This is a prophecy. This is a promise of what's going to happen in the future. So, let's fast forward 500 years forward. After he promises Zechariah that the king will ride into Jerusalem on a donkey. Now, Jesus is born. He is a carpenter. And then he leaves carpentry to start his ministry, healing, preaching, and teaching people. And he has the 12 disciples that are following him all around this journey on this epic adventure, right? Where he gets to heal all these people and do amazing miracles. And so we lead up to the point of Lazarus being resurrected from the dead. Now, Lazarus and his family were super excited, and everyone else was also super excited. And it's that time of year called Passover where everyone goes to Jerusalem to celebrate the Israelites being taken out of Egypt by God, led by Moses. And they have festivals, they have prayer time, they have really good food, and all those things that come with the festivities of a great event. So, it's 6 days till Passover, and Jesus, being a good Jewish man, follows the law, and so he goes to Jerusalem to enjoy the festivities. He's only 2 miles away, and he's on his journey, and all of a sudden, he notices something. He notices that people are climbing palm trees, grabbing palm branches, and waving them as he walks down the path. And they're saying something. They're saying, Hosanna. Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord. Blessed is the King of Israel. Oh my gosh. What does that mean? Right? Hosanna in Hebrew means save now. And it's a term of endearment. It's a term of phrase. It's a phrase of praise, of joy, of jubilation, that this person is coming to save everyone. And that's what they thought about Jesus. So Jesus, as he's walking on his donkey, or riding on his donkey on his way to Jerusalem, hears this phrase. And they're claiming that he's the king of Israel. And when you think of a king, you think of a political leader, right? You think of someone who's powerful, who lives in the kingdom, or in the castle, and has this big military force where he can overthrow anyone he wants. And so that's what they thought. They thought Jesus was coming to overthrow the Romans, to enslave those people who had enslaved them for thousands of years prior to Jesus, and get payback. They thought he was going to be this big, powerful leader. However, Jesus, riding on the donkey, it resembles peace. That's what the donkey stands for. Peace. And they're like, What the heck? I thought you were going to be this great military leader, and you're riding on a donkey. Where's your steed? Where's your horse with braided hair and its braided mane and its armor? And where's your sword and your armor? You should be ruling. You should be king. But Jesus, although he is king, is also the Prince of Peace. He comes to give peace to those who need it. To those who need it. And as he's on this journey, these people are claiming, "You are the king. You are the king. You are, or save us now. We need your help." And Jesus hears this, and he knows that he's going to be put to death later this week because the Pharisees are the leaders, the chief priests of the church, of the Jews. They plan to kill Jesus, and he knows this. So he's making this trek to Jerusalem knowing that he's going to die. But what they're doing, what we do on Palm Sunday, is a remembrance of this great event where they are claiming that Jesus is the Son of God, that he is the Messiah, that he is the King of Israel. And because he rode the donkey into Jerusalem, it upheld the promise that God had made to Zechariah 500 years prior to this event. So even though you guys may have someone in your school, or you may have a family member that breaks all the promises, God will never break a promise. God, although it may take a while, will always come through. You can trust him. And he might make a promise to you, whatever that might be, where you might get into this position, you might have this job someday, you might do something great, but it may not be the very next day. It may not be that month. It could be when you guys are like old people, like Jesse and I. It could be when you're like 70. I mean, it might be 60 years from now when something comes to fruition, when something comes to the head. But God always keeps his promises. He always comes through. And he is powerful, so he can move. With that being said, will you guys bow your heads and hold your hands for everything? Heavenly Father, thank you for today. Thank you for these kids. Thank you for just this ministry and what KidsPoint is. And thank you for Palm Sunday and the remembrance that we can have hope that something good can come out of something bad. And that you are a Prince of Peace, and you have come to save, and you have come to guide, and you have come to lead, Lord. And you are still as active in our lives today as you were 2,000 years ago with those people, the Israelites. I thank you for who you are and what you've done for us. I pray this all in your heavenly holy name. Amen.
Thanks for watching our video today. If you liked what you saw, make sure you click like down below and subscribe to KidsPoint TV. Also hit that little bell icon. That way you can be notified anytime we upload a video. Hey, thanks for watching, guys. Have a great day.